Hey YouTube fam, welcome back to another episode of Code with Annie. In this episode, we're going to take a look at one of the special data types in Java called as enumeration, or in short, enum. So let me explain you what enum is by directly creating one. So let's say I want to create an enum. I can say new Java class, and here I can select enum, and I can give a name. Let's say I give a name designation. Okay. So an enum basically is a class, particularly not just a class. It's similar to a class, but it is a special data type which can hold only constant values. That is, values that do not change no matter what. Let's say in here, let me have designation SD underscore 1, comma, SD underscore 2, comma, SD underscore 3. Okay. As you can see, these are all constants which will not change across. And if you pass along an enum, the values will always remain the same. There is no modification that you can do to any of these. Okay. Now from my main class, let me try to give you an example how we can use this particular enum. Let's say earlier, if you remember, we were trying to get the employee designation, right? It goes through a switch condition based on designation type, and it used to return the designation. Okay. Now what we will do is we're going to apply the same thing with an enum. Okay. In enums, like this one that you see, all these are categorized by a designation title, which is SD1, 2, and 3, and they also have something called as an ordinal, which basically states the index of the enum. So this is index 0 or ordinal 0, this is index 1, and this is index 2. Similar to arrays, their indexes or indices actually start from 0. So this is 0, this is 1, this is 2. Now in main class, what I'm going to do is here I'm going to say designation dot sd1 dot ordinal. If I pass this one, it goes here, and this is the integer that I've received. So I'm going to say case 1, then return designation dot sd1. Of course, this is expecting a string, so I'm going to say sd1 dot toString. If I do that, it will automatically return this enum as a string, which is basically something like this. Okay, this string will be returned back. Now the same thing I can apply for the other two as well. Let's say this one and this one. I'm going to say sd2, same way sd3. Okay. So with that out of the way, we have successfully applied the enum transformation to the switch statement. And most of the cases, enums are used in switch statements because that's where you deal with constants, right? So wherever you deal with constants, it's preferable to use an enumeration as opposed to an integer or string. All right. In fact, you can go ahead and create another method to probably satisfy the same thing. Let's say the same thing. Let me rewrite it in a different way. So based on designation type, I'm going to return an experience, let's say. Okay, let's copy the same method and let's put it here, and let's say public get employee tenure based on the designation type. So I'm going to say designation type as designation space designation, which is the enumeration itself. Okay, even enumeration is a data type, right? So it can also be passed to a method. Okay, now I'm going to say switch designation. So this is designation. Oh, because I've already assigned here. Okay, I'm going to say this is tenure. You can say switch designation. Okay, sorry. And case, this is going to be designation dot sd1. Then what do you want to do about it? So let's say if it's in sd1, let's say I'm saying experience is 5. Okay, or tenure is 5. Okay, 5 years he has served, then it's in sd1. If he has served, let's say designation dot sd2, Then let's say if he has served 8 years, he's SD2. Okay. And if I say designation dot SD3, I'm saying he has served close to 10 years. And default is, in this case, I have to return a type of designation because I'm operating on designation, I have to return a number actually here, sorry. So let's say I return default is 0. Okay. Now I'm just going to return tenure and make this integer. All right, all sorted. Basically, it is saying you can keep it inline, means I don't have to assign it and then return it. Instead, I can do is this directly say return and put the switch statement here. Same thing with this one as well. Instead of assigning it, you can make it inline and say return directly the switch statement. Okay. This default 0 is not holding much value here because default branch is unnecessary is what it is saying. But you let it be just for the sake of the switch statement. And let's go back to the main class and create, or probably call this method here, right? Well, let's say out, and I'll say employee, I'm sorry, yeah, employee dot get employee designation or get employee tenure based on designation. If I say designation dot SD3, then I'll get the value as 10. And same way when I say SD1 dot ordinal, which means the index of SD1, which is 0, okay, it has to operate on that, correct? So it has to go ahead and see 0, 1, 2, 3, because it starts at 0, you'll have to include that here in this particular case match. So if I run this now, based on the ordinal, the first print line should give me SD1. And when I explained it that enumeration can be passed as a parameter, based on this, it should return value 10. See? So that's how enumerations are used in Java. Two main purposes, mainly to be used in switch statements because they operate on constants like these, and enumerations are very stubborn constants. And their purpose is basically just to hold static values across. Okay, it's a special data type in Java. So that's it for this video, and hope you liked it. If you do like it, hit the like button, subscribe to Code with Annie if you haven't already. And in the next video, I'm going to be talking about looping constructs, wherein I'll explain how you can even loop through enumerations like these. So stay tuned to this channel for more updates, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.